Right. Welcome back to AutoCAD tutorial session 3. And hopefully it looks like this. These are all hollowed out. We have no conflicts of penetrating HSS into other HSS. So now it's mainly so that we can accurately dimension lengths. So you could say it didn't matter that we took these out, but it will help when it comes to dimensioning later on. So the next thing we're going to do is add connections. You see this over here? This is floating. Nothing's holding it. Nothing's holding it. I mean, how would these really come together? Like, sure, it's on top, but it's not really attached to it at all. We need a connection. So if you didn't notice already, in your staging yard, right, there are these objects just chilling. So these are connections or dovetail connections, and most likely these are going to be built in SolidWorks. So hopefully whoever is doing the connections has already done this for you or is going to do it for you. Unless you really want to be a masochist and just do all of it, that's also fine. But most likely, someone else is going to do it. You can import into AutoCAD and voila, you'll have them all set up. The past team, we originally had a different kind of connection where they had a little lip basically sticking out, but due to time constraints, we had to edit it off so that they were just flat. That's why you have all these like squares and circles on them, because we need that to snap to. Otherwise, we would just guesstimate, which you shouldn't do. So let's go ahead and let's figure out let's figure out how thick these actually are. Let's go type dist, and go to that line, and it's telling me it's 0.25 thick in the delta z direction. And for the green one, don't forget there's a little tail over here. Let's get this one, and it's telling me 0.31. Is that right? Oh, excuse me. Actually, that part doesn't matter because it's going to be inside the other one. So it's actually 0.18. Excuse me with that. 0.18 is the thickness of the green one. It says it over here as well. So what's going to happen basically, we need to find a convention later on how do we insert it into an actual member. So we're going to start off with the top or the end top decking. So we said that one side is, the pink one, or connection A, is 0.25 thick. Connection B, or the green one, is going to be 0.18 thick. So we need to come with a convention. In this tutorial, it says that connection A the face of A is going to be radially outward from the so-called center. So if this was the center over here of the bridge, then it should be pointing in the negative x-axis direction. So let's go ahead, go to the top decking, or end top decking, go to embed it, click OK, and because it's connection A, we know I should press this in, or press it and point negative 0.25, and let's go ahead and also go here. Make that space. Escape, hit close, hit save, and there should be a little gap. Alright, we need that gap. It's crucial that we have it. It lets us know in real life also, how long can this piece actually be with the connection, and we can also see how long is it total, how wide is it total with the connections. You'll see in due time, basically. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're gonna make a copy of one of the connections and add it to our end top decking really quick. Let's take one of these. How do I know this is the right one? it's a 1 square because we chose red. If you look at it, it tells you by layer. That's a 1 square on top. So let's make a copy of that real quick. And you see there is no square, right? Let's go ahead and copy this square. Let's use the center onto the center. There we go. Now we take it, 3D rotate it, and we're going to copy it. Or, yeah, we'll have to just make a copy of it. So we're going to push all the way across the staging yard. And see, right there. Perfect. But that means now we had to shorten this one. If we're going to put a green one in here, this has to be shortened by 0.18. So this is the type of thinking that is really encouraged, basically, when it comes to bridge team. And also, you'll see why this comes in pretty important when we add the next connection. So if I add this one here, let's say I did add it correct, This is the right orientation, as you'll see soon enough, because we need to have them slide. So that's not apparent yet. Let me go to Edit. And I'm going to shorten this one so I can add a green connection or connection B to the end of this member here. So press minus 0.18. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this the same way. Right there. Save. Now I need a connection B. Where'd you go? There we go. Copy. Rotate it. Turn ortho on. There we go. Perfect. Let's make a copy of that. I need it's this snap. I'm going to use that snap. Oops. That's weird. Okay. A little laggy over here. Soon you will also feel the lag. There we go. So I put it in, but if we look at it from a different angle, you can see that the orientation matters. So the dovetail only works because these can slide together. If you have one perpendicular to the other, it's not going to work. So this one, let's say, was rotated differently. Like that or something. Move it a little bit. We'll guesstimate just for the time's sake. You could actually figure it out. But you see this can slide this way up and down. But if this piece is perpendicular facing, it's definitely not going to work. I like to imagine this like a door. A door only works when the hinges are parallel with each other and not if you have a hinge that pivots one way and the other hinge pivots the opposite way. It's not going to work. But I also want you to notice that it's kind of a pain to add connections to every single one of these. We should use the quarter section method. So we're going to do that in the next part. We're going to take advantage of the quarter section method. So we only need connections really for a quarter section of our bridge, just like what we've been doing earlier. So I'll see you in the next part.